Hello, my friends. I'm really pleased to be connecting with all of you tonight. So I see we have about 400 people in the house. We're going to give it maybe 2 minutes, and then we will begin the session. And the title is no joke. If you get this, you will have it all. If you get this transmission, if you get this message, if it lands for you, then you will have it all. Should I get let me see. Yeah, I'm going to go get my plug as usual. 1 second. Just to be on the safe side. Just to be on the safe side. Okay. So hopefully you guys can hear me properly. I was nudged to jump on tonight to check in with you guys. So this is sort of going to be like an April Energies Part 2, but it's going to be applicable to the rest of your life. So if you catch this in the year 2025, then please watch it. All right, let's begin. And thank you for the donations. Thank you, Lauren. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Snooty Buffalo 54. I really appreciate you. This means the world to me. All right, so tonight we are going to be discussing the fifth dimension, the fact that it is extremely here and available. It is ready for you to step into. It has just been waiting for you. So I want to begin by talking about your current situation, because I feel like the month of April is affording us a tremendous opportunities to burn. I kept hearing the word burn, to burn old constructs of who we once thought we were. To burn personalities that we've been, to burn identities that we've assumed, to burn roles that we've fulfilled, to burn all the contents that are presently here that you've over-identified with and as. So April is a huge month to accelerate yourself on your ascension path. Huge month. There's no time like it. And you've probably already felt a massive boost in your energy this month. Even for myself, I went to bed last night thinking, I think I'm going to take a break from Instagram. And I woke up with so much fire, with so much energy, with so much electricity, with so much creativity. And this is what this month is offering up. It is giving us a chance right now to anchor in the multi-dimensional human, to no longer belong to categories, to no longer belong in boxes, to no longer belong in the idea of who we thought we were. You're so much bigger than everything you thought you were. And so we're going to be discussing how often we can splinter off from our wholeness because we think that there's something wrong with us. We think that we're not achieving enough. We think that we're not producing enough. We think that we're not where we're supposed to be. We splinter off continually. So the first thing I want to talk about tonight is, and thank you, Emma, the first thing I want to discuss tonight is, it's not about trying to escape your current situation. So I know a lot of people in April are toggling between these browsers. In one browser, you have who you once were, and in the other browser, you have who you know yourself to be. And you're toggling between those browsers. Or it may be for me, I'll give you an example, and I only give examples so that you can relate to me. For me, I've been toggling between it's time for me to step into mainstream, meaning as a teacher, I want to go mainstream. But with that browser comes, well, you won't talk about extraterrestrials as much. You're going to be talking as yourself. From the quantum, of course, because I can't be anything other than quantum. And then this other browser is like, but I love talking about the guides, and I love talking about the ETs, and I love talking about the angels. And the point of this month is to burn through all of that and say, I don't care about categories. I don't care about browsers. I am Safari. I'm not either of these browsers. I'm here to cement. I'm here to anchor in the multidimensional human. And so you may find that there are times where you're confused or you're unclear as to which direction you want to go down. And that's the very thing you're being asked to clear. Because what you're attempting to do is box yourself in again. You're telling yourself, well, if I choose this, it won't be right. Or if I choose this, it will be wrong. But in so doing, you are actually constricting your ability or restricting your ability to source more energy. You are so much more than that. You are not a browser. You are the entire universe encased within your body. How could you ever try to place yourself in a category? So message number 1 is the worst thing you can do for yourself right now is to not accept, to not be in acceptance of your current situation. And I briefly touched on this in my last video, but I want you to take a nice deep breath when I'm about to say this. Everything that's currently discordant in your life, everything that brings to you discontentment right now, is a file from your past that was transferred into your now. In other words, it's been with you your entire life. It's a file that is quote unquote corrupt or unconscious or erroneous. And this file is an unconscious file that you've literally carried with you your whole life, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, but it's been with you. So if there's any discontentment, if there's any discord that you feel in your state of being right now, it is because it is a file from your past that has been with you your entire life. Take a nice deep breath. That's a big piece right there. To think that whatever it is that's causing you disturbance, to think that whatever it is that might be causing you disharmony right now has been with you all along. That's big. And it also is relative to a construct, to a story, if you will, that you've also carried with you, which is keeping you in separation as opposed to becoming this multidimensional human that can be all of it. So it's a limitation that you self-imposed, consciously or unconsciously, that has been with you all along, and it has carried over into this now. The only reason it's carried over into this now is because you used to operate linearly, and you still operate linearly from one perspective. And if you were operating quantumly the whole time, that file would cease to exist. Because that file only exists because you're still running a story that is keeping you in a state of limitation and separation. So no files can be transferred into your now unless you're not in the now. No files can be transferred into your now unless you're not in your now. Because the now is synonymous with the quantum field of existence. The quantum field of existence is outside of time and space. There are no more stories because every story is happening at the same time, but you are not defined by those stories. You're having fun with them, you're dancing with them, you're waltzing with them. I want to remind you tonight that you cannot create from physicality. You can, but if I say I'm going to try to alter this phone, the phone is a phone. It's already a phone. I can turn it orange, but it might take me 50 years. It might take me 5,000 years. What you want to do is start materializing from the quantum field, from the unseen. And I'm going to share this little, I'm going to let you in on a little secret of mine that I never share with anyone. I'm going to share this with you tonight. Years ago, when I started working with my wizardry, with my alchemy, with my magic, with my energy, wielding my life force, activating my kundalini, and then manipulating energy fields, God's source said to me, one of my patents that I'm giving you access to, because if you think about it, creation is a patent. But one of my patents that I'm giving you access to, Phil, is that you can etch your vibrational signature into anything that you want in order to multiply yourself in the cosmos. Because the power of the mind has no limitations. And when you start to tap into that field, to that invisible field where everything is pulsating with life, with pure potential, but may not have actualized yet, that thing that you are actualizing has no choice but to actualize because you created it from the highest. You created it from that invisible field, from pure potential. Everything that you see was once potential, and it was driven into existence. It was brought into materiality by a human. But what if you could access that quantum field all day long? What if you could access that quantum field all night long and power it up, power up your pure potential? So I'll give you one of my little hacks. And I don't mind sharing this because it takes very advanced techniques to do this. One of the things that I'm here to anchor is my omnipresence. So God is omnipresent. God told me that I could be omnipresent. So one of the many things I do in meditation when I go on my walks is I upload my signature into anything I want. But to go more specific with you is I will turn up the sound in my mind of all the sounds that are going on in the universe, in Europe, in Canada, the sounds of cars, the sounds of birds, the sounds of water, the sounds of the ocean, the sounds of the wind. One thing that I will do is I will open up my dimensional access and link into every sound that's going on in the universe. The cars driving by, the people talking, and I will etch my soul signature into every sound in order to make my presence known subconsciously. So I already know that in a few years from now, everything that I'm already concocting in hyperspace, in the higher dimensional landscapes, is going to plop out into my reality. Everything that I've achieved so far is through the mind. I never chased anything, but I work really hard. But you work with higher technique. You work with your multidimensional access. So I had to start with baby steps. I started with, okay, the sounds that I hear right now, the wind, okay, let's turn that on. Okay, the car driving by, let's turn that on. It didn't happen overnight. And then I would attach to that my desire of being omnipresent. I would upload or etch into those sounds my signature. And I would implant my face into every sound being heard by every human on the planet. And now I'm able to go to Europe. I'm able to go to Canada. I'm able to go to China. I can go anywhere I want. And it's all happening simultaneously. I'm like an orchestra conductor. You have that power. You are unlimited in what you can do. But you have to believe in the unbelievable. You have to start seeing the unseeable, because it will soon be seeable. It will be evidenced to those around you. And when you tell them your testimony, some of them won't believe you. But we're not here to doubt the power of the mind. So the first thing I want to say to you is, and by the way, it is very electric when you work this way. It's very electric. There's no feeling like it. You're untouchable. You're unstoppable. It doesn't matter if someone screws you over, if someone lies to you, it doesn't matter if someone deceives you, you wouldn't even feel it, because you're aware of the power that courses through your veins. You're aware of it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to accept where you currently are. There are a lot of people right now who are scrambling to find a solution, meaning they're trying to run away from their now. What's going to happen if they do that? They're going to transfer that unconscious file of not being present into another future. Just like the discord that you feel now is a frequency from the past that was transferred into your now, all you're going to do is transfer that same frequency into a future. Same thing. So you're in a relationship right now that is disgruntling to you. You're at a job that is displeasing to you right now. Accept that you are there. Because if you haven't left yet, there's something keeping you there. You want to accept that you're there. And everyone involved is going to benefit from that, because as soon as you accept that you're there and you start practicing what I'm going to share with you, then your vibration is going to lift to a higher octave, and your boss is going to think you're super happy now, and the employees are going to love seeing you smile and being lit up and shine brightly. So everyone's going to benefit from you being at the highest vibrational level. Everyone. Why? Because you're not splintering off from your now, trying to reject your now, trying to escape your now. You are saying, this is where I am. I'm coming to terms with it now. I'm going to accept that I'm here now, and I'm going to start working with my energy. I'm going to start working with what I can conceptualize, with what I can visualize, with what I can envision for myself, and I'm going to start powering those structures. I'm going to start powering every version of who I'm becoming. If you don't accept where you are, you will not have a springboard to jump from. Your current circumstances are such a gift to you, because even if you don't like them, it increases your desire for what you want. So even if you don't like where you are right now, it increases your desire to want more. It increases your desire to push the envelope. Think of a superhero. When Incredible Hulk gets provoked by people and he gets pushed around, he's contractive, and then and he turns into the Hulk. That's expansion. So there needs to be contraction in order to be expansion. But first you have to accept where you are, because if you're not accepting where you are, then you're running away from your future. Yet again. Let me break that down for you. If every now moment is stacked in this now moment, think of a slingy. You have a slingy, there's all these, every now moment is stacked on top of each other in this current now moment. You have all these future timelines, all these future versions of yourself that want you to relish where you are. so that you can power them. If you don't accept where you are, you're going to fall short because you're still running away from a future version that hasn't even happened yet. Because that future version of who you are is here now. Do you see how this works? This is all vibrationally based, all of it. People who only focus on changing the physical contents of where they're at, they're trying to change this orange, or they're trying to change their job, they're operating linearly. They're not operating multidimensionally because they're so focused on the physical rather than using the physical as a springboard into the quantum. Your current physical circumstances, the current physical situation you find yourself in is like a trampoline into the quantum. You have to embrace it. You have to accept it. Your guides don't make mistakes. And once you start to work with this higher mind, and you get to do this how you please, I'm working with omnipresence, you work with what you want, then you won't think that there's anything that you're wanting for or lacking in this now. You won't. Because now you're taking every now that's stacked on top of each other within your now, and you're holding them and squeezing them. Whoop. Sorry. I got a little too enthusiastic there. So my point is, hold on. Yes, it is plasma. That's the plasma body. So you accept where you are. If you're confused right now, if you're doubtful, if you're scared, don't fight yourself. Why? Because by trying to select one, you are splintering off. Just like I said earlier, by trying to choose a browser, me saying, but I like working with ETs, but I also want to go mainstream, that's limiting. That's me splintering off from my wholeness, from my infiniteness. Can you see that? So we want to ensure that we don't transfer files that are unconscious into a future version. Because it's all here now. All of it. Now, I also know that people are feeling some doubt this month. You're doubting yourself. You're wondering if you're in a state of readiness to launch yourself. You are wondering all these different things. The doubt, this is going to be deep, so please tune in, please listen in. The doubt that you're feeling is linked to other people's potential judgments of you. Because we are all interconnected via the web of consciousness. We are all like this, we all form this network as humans. We're all part of the one collective body, of the one collective mind. So nothing that you can share with me is weird because we're all part of the same mind. So if you're doubting yourself, it is because you are intuitively, telepathically picking up on other people's judgments of you, those other people being you, being aspects of you, being mirror aspects of you or shadow aspects of you. And then that starts to slow you down. It slows down your speed of vibration. And now you find yourself toggling between the browsers again. This is a month to demolish old constructs, to demolish all these identities, to demolish all these roles that you've assumed up to now. This is a month to demolish all of that, to burn those constructs, to burn them. You are unboxable. You are uncategorizable. You are unlabelable. You are larger than life. So why is it that you feel doubt? I'll tell you. because you still have a belief or a limb or a hand or a foot in the old 3D matrix that is linear. What does linear mean? Linear means I need to climb my way to the top in order to be successful. I need to take step 1, then step 2, then step 3, then step 4. That's linear. It takes a very long time because there are strategies involved. There aren't galactagies involved. I call them galactagies, a galactic strategy. So you can chuck your freaking strategy, your 3D strategy out the window. I'm all about galactagies because I'm a galactic being who doesn't need to strategize like humans. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 take a long time. It's a lengthy process. In the quantum, all the steps are here now. You don't need to work your way up. You don't need to prove yourself. You only need to prove yourself when people are undermining you, when people are underestimating you. You only need to prove yourself and build your credibility when you still give a shit about what people think of you. By not giving a shit about what people think of you, you are displaying and demonstrating that you are sovereign, that you are free. That's your greatest service to humanity. How is this person able to be so expressive? How is this person able to be so animated? How is this person able to be so playful and so comical and so they take everything with a grain of salt? How? Because they're sovereign. Because they're not in communication with aspects that are still in separation. They are at one with the quantum field. That's why. They don't play games, Olympic games of separation. So when you think you have to do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and I have people reach out to me all the time, God bless their soul, but they're like, hey, I'm really having a hard time building myself right now. I need to share this with as many people as I can. That's cute. It's cute. But they're not aware of the power that courses through their veins yet. They're not aware. They're still fighting where they are. They're not accepting where they are and using it as a springboard to go into the quantum, to power up the quantum field, to power up what they want to create via the quantum field. If I told people right now that I'm anchoring in my omnipresence because I've learned how to work with energy and I can upload my signature into every sound, they'd be like, you're a lunatic. You're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That's what they would say. Because I'm sharing it from this now moment. But in a few years, they would say, what was that thing that you said? I think I might believe you now. See, there's no room for doubt in the quantum field. Doubt is a human construct. Doubt is judgment-based. If you're doubting yourself, you still care about being judged by others. Thank you so much for the donations, by the way. That's all construct. It's all browsers. You're not a browser. You're larger than life. God gave you the patent to be a creator and to create anything you want unrestricted, unperturbed, unencumbered, unashamed. You think God would have given me that download? Source would have given me that download that I can actually implant my signature into every sound in the universe if I wasn't supposed to have access to it? No, you have to push the envelope. You have to aspire to become something that's never been before. And as the more that you apply yourself, the more that you're consistent with your practice in the relentless pursuit of what you want, it will manifest. Because everything that you're energizing in is in the space of no time. It never goes away. It never goes away. You can have a singer who has practiced and honed in on their skills for 20 years, they stop singing for 50 years. When they go back to it, it'll be like riding a bike. You know that saying? What do you think riding a bike means? It means that everything you've already deposited in that vault is yours. It's yours. You applied yourself. You spent countless hours, tireless hours, energizing your vault. So can you see how when you are fighting where you are, you're moving back into linearity, you're moving back into separateness, which subsequently will transfer that file of your unconscious, of not being in love with where you are. It's going to transfer it into the future now. This month is all about canceling out that ripple. It's all about canceling out the very thing that got in the way. Think of how fast you would vibrate if you removed all the boulders that send you into that analysis paralysis. You're constantly analyzing. There is no analyzing in the quantum field. You become everything. The monkey mind analyzes. The human analyzes. We have to transcend that. We have to overcome that. We have to move ourselves through our desires, through our passion, through our boldness into these higher states of being. I want you to do an exercise for me. And you're going to feel some of this electricity that I'm referring to. So you can go do this tonight. I want you to go on your street at night, because the energy at night is so freaking potent. I want you to go on your street and I want you to walk like you're a model on a runway. And that the entire world stops to see you walk. And when you walk, it's almost like you're controlling and bending time because all eyes are on you. And I want you to walk like you are the only thing that matters in this universe, because you are the universe and everything else is an aspect of you. You can even turn your eyes purple if you want. You can imagine that you have wind blowing on you. Do what you want to do. Do it. And start to feel that energy pulsing in you, that electricity coursing through you. With time, you won't have to use those visuals because you'll be able to access it on command. But for now, your imagination is the greatest tool. Greatest tool. All right, so before I go, I'm going to share the most important piece of this video. And I'll try to make it quick because I know we're at 33 minutes. I got this download last week that absolutely blew my socks off. You have to start seeing your now as an interface between realities. It's an interface between realities. So you are you, right here, right now, dealing with your situation, dealing with your relationship, dealing with your circumstances. The situation that you're in is a now moment, but there's a telephone line to your future self. And your future self is communicating, is interacting with you using this very now that you find yourself in to get you closer to it, meaning to get you to anchor in that future timeline that you're wanting, that you're desiring. So the now is like this interface. It's an interface. It's an interface. So I'll use an example. You're in your relationship, you're unhappy. And now you're determined. You're gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna do what Phil told me to do. I'm gonna commit and accept, I'm gonna commit to and accept where I am as opposed to constantly fighting myself or playing the victim or saying someone come save me. No, I'm gonna embrace it because if it wasn't for the situation, my desires wouldn't be amped up. They wouldn't be turned up. So now you see your relationship, but you see your highest version of yourself. And you're like, okay, when my partner speaks to me, my future self is actually speaking to me. My future self is using, if you will, my current partner that I'm unhappy with to get me closer to my future partner, to get me to that future timeline where I'm in a much happier relationship. So I'm going to accept where I am. And every time my current boyfriend or my current girlfriend speaks to me, I'm going to see it as an opportunity that's being given to me right now to cultivate a stronger relationship with my future self, with my future partner, with everything that's going to be a part of my life, because I'm choosing to cancel out this ripple of unconsciousness that's been with me my whole life. So now your current boyfriend, girlfriend benefits from it because they're like, why are you so nice? Like, you're being so nice to me. Yeah, that's because you're lifting the vibration of the entire situation to a higher octave of reality. It's a more expanded state of awareness. The more that you enlarge or widen your bandwidth of consciousness, the more access you have. The more access you have, but it's a choice. If you choose to focus on, this boyfriend gets on my nerves, I can't stand this guy, all you're doing is energizing your past file that was corrupt. That's all you're doing. You're energizing your own unconsciousness, which is really just a combination of all the choices that you made from an unconscious place, or the conditioning that you received from your parents, or the societal expectations that you unconsciously fell for. So that's all you're doing. By continually complaining about your situation, you keep energizing that file, which consequently is going to get you to try to escape your situation, which consequently is going to transfer that file into a future now. You're not helping yourself. You're not leveling up. There's a biological upgrade that's up for grabs. Are you going to take heed? Are you going to take advantage of it? So maybe your relationship is going to unknot itself. You're going to undo all the knots, and you guys are going to end up loving each other. Maybe you will leave courteously, lovingly, but you will both get what you need from that dynamic sooner rather than later. What prolongs your process is that you're fighting yourself, as opposed to saying, I'm going to burn all these constructs of identity, of who I think I am. Burning your constructs really just means dropping your stories. You don't have stories anymore. You're committed to being a multidimensional human. You're committed to the future version of yourself that non-accidentally has you where it has you. Think about that. You're committed to the future version of yourself that decided this is where you need to be right now. This is how I'm able to get in contact with you. This is how I'm able to reach you on the telephone line, is through your current boyfriend, is through the current job that you despise. You say you want to be a healer? Well, why aren't you being nice to people at your work? You're not healing anyone. You're not energizing us, meaning your future self that is a healer. How are you going to anchor in that timeline? You have to squeeze it. You have to see it. You have to water it like a plant. You have to let it know that you see it. And then the vibrational reciprocity is going to be that it sees you. And now you guys are in contact all day long. It's a relationship. You are inhabiting a vibrational yet relational universe. The only reason you have desires is because you're in relationship with something that you can't see. I repeat that. The only reason you have desires is because you're in communication with something that you can't see, that is calling you to it, that is trying to propel you forward. And all you do is keep feeding your old stories, and that slows down your speed of vibration, as opposed to saying, I'm going to remove these boulders and I'm going to speed up my vibration. Get out of my way. I don't do constructs. Yes? There are never coincidences. If you have a desire, it means that you're in communication with something, or I should say that something is in communication with you that you may not even know you want yet. The power lies in becoming fully conscientious of the quantum field, because then you're the one creating it. You're creating what's next. It's not dictating what's next. Meaning, if you create what's next by fully embracing where you are, you're creating the next version because you already know its frequency, because one concocted that frequency. But if you're operating linearly in separation from all those future potentials, guess what's going to happen? Your unconscious mind is going to choose the next for you. So if you transfer that file, you're going to be in a situation that might feel like a honeymoon for a month, but guess what? Your unconscious chose that next situation for you, and then you're going to have as much discontentment as you do now. You don't think I'm already in a mansion? Of course I'm in a mansion, but I don't dislike where I am. I love where I am. This is giving me the framework. This is giving me a platform to shoot off into the cosmos, to blast off into the cosmos. I'm everywhere. It's omnipresence. What's the rush? There's only a rush when you're operating with sequences. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, then step 5, then step 6. And the whole time you did that, someone flew above you and was like, bye, honey, enjoy your step 1, step 2. Enjoy your ABCs. We don't do the alphabet. We are the alphabet. We are the freaking alphabet. And you're caught in our alphabet, thinking that you have to be A, B, C, D. You're caught in our own alphabet. Someone created the alphabet. Someone created the steps. Are you walking up those steps? Are you climbing up those steps? Well, you're not a creator, because the people who created the steps knew that the steps were just an illusion. So, I like that. The people who created the steps knew the steps were just an illusion. It's true. It's just energy that is brought into materiality, that is brought into physicality. That's all it is. It's energy that's brought into physicality. So I love you guys so much. Do not run away from your now moment, because you're just running away from a future now. That's all you're doing. You're perpetuating your own game, a game of disempowerment. It's time to step into empowerment. Everything you want is here now. You didn't decide to descend into the third dimension. If you decide to see that, if you decide to see it that way, then you did. I don't see myself as having incarnated into the third dimension, because that would still be separation. That means that when I'm not here, I'm in separation from the third dimension. Think about that. If I say that I only incarnate sometimes, does it mean I'm in separation from the third dimension? No, I'm always everywhere. When I die, I might be in a sound, because I've uploaded my signature into every sound. Thank you, guys. And if you would love to donate, or if you would like to donate, I really appreciate it. Thank you for supporting my work. My link is feelgoodlife.com/donate. feelgoodlife.com/donate. If I don't get back to you within a day, just give me a couple days. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I will speak to you very soon. Much love.